Hi guys, so we have a question here, also a GC question, uh, a maths question actually. We're going to solve the 12A parts now, then in another video we'll solve the 12B parts. So as you can look at, they said a businessman deposited 500,000 naira in a bank account at 20% per annum compound interest. If the interest is added quarterly, find the compound interest on the deposit at the end of 1 year and 6 months. So let's take it part by part. The first deposit that the businessman made is going to be called the principal. So we can just write, let me quickly change to my ink. So P is equal to the principal, and the principal is the initial money that is deposited. So I can just say that is 500,000. So the initial money deposited either in simple interest or compound interest is always timed as the principal. So the second part here is referring to the 20% per annum. So what is 20% per annum? That is our R, which is given as the rate. So the rate is always given in percentage. So, but this is rate per annum, which is 20% per annum. So I'll indicate per annum here. So what per annum is implying is per year, every year. So let's move on for now. Then they said if the interest is added quarterly. So what do they mean by this word quarterly? The interest is added quarterly. So remember, a year consists of, let me just write this here. 1 year consists of 12 months, and if we divide 12 into different quarters, that is dividing 12 by 4 to get the different quarters, we have 3 months. That's 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. So it means quarterly is 3 months, every 3 months. So the interest is added every 3 months. That's what they mean by quarterly, every 3 months. So 3 months. Then they now say we should find the compound interest on the deposit at the end of 1 year and 6 months. So I can say my time is 1 year and 6 months. 1 year and 6 months. So the time here, you can also use the letter N to represent it. Anyone would do. So the formula we're going to use is this formula. A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus R over 100 all raised to the power of N. So basically, the reason why I use T here precisely is because my T here is not generally going to be my N. It depends on the way the question comes. This question here is asking us to calculate the interest that is added quarterly, not the interest that is added yearly. So they are going to be different. Why? Because the rate is going to be different. Remember, the rate given here is rate per annum. So we should be very careful when we are solving questions like this. Let me just get more space here. The rate given here is rates per annum, but they want us to find the interest added quarterly. So what are we going to do here? We're going to look at this rate, which is per year, and we're going to divide it into what? Into 4 as well. So we're going to say rate per quarterly, or you can say rate per 3 months, anyone that works, is going to be equal to 20% divided by 4. And what does that give us? That gives us 5%. So what this implies is per every year the interest is added 20%, but every 3 months the interest is added 5%. So this arrow here, we're going to be working with 5, not 20. So this is a very confusing part of this in this question. Then the second technical part is that our N now is going to be how many times the interest was compounded. So in 1 year and 6 months, how many quarters can we find in 1 year and 6 months? In 1 year, we know that we can find 4 quarters. That is 3 times 4 gives us 12 months, and we have 3 months. So we can find 4 quarters. Then in 6 months, we can also find 2 different quarters, that is 3 months. So if we say 4 plus 2 will give us 6. So this is 6 times. So our n is going to be equal to 6 here. So the amount here is the total. This is amount. A is equal to amount. Let me just write it here since I did not introduce that. A is equal to amount. So amount is the total amount when you add the principal plus the interest, either simple interest accrued or the compound interest that has accumulated. So you add 2 of them together, you get the amount. So, but remember, that's not what the question is asking for exactly, but later on we'll remove that. So let's simplify this now. We have 500,000 into bracket 1 plus, remember our rate is going to be 5 here, 5 over 100, all raised to the power of our n is 6. So this will be 500,000 into 1 plus. If we divide 5 by 100, we get 0.05, all raised to the power of 6. So we have 500,000 into, we have 1.05, all raised to the power of 6, all raised to the power of 6. So I don't have a calculator with me to simplify this because let me see if this one would work. I have a small calculator here. If I will get my answer by using that. Okay. I don't have raised to the power here. I don't have raised to the power of here. Let me see. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that out for now. So once you simplify this, you are going to get your amount. Remember, you're not going to get your exact answer. You're going to get your amount in Naira. So but what we will now do, we will now say, remember the question initially said we should calculate the compound interest on the deposit, not the amount. It said the compound interest. So how do we find the compound interest? If you think about it, we just have to remove the principal. So our compound interest, CI, is going to be equal to the principal, or rather, we'll say should be the amount minus the principal, because the amount is going to be bigger than that. So our compound interest is going to be equal to the amount, which is A, minus the principal, which is 500,000. So once you simplify this, you are going to get your compound, the exact compound interest, and this is the final answer.